She's like, yes, give me some more discipline.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Because who doesn't like it, right?
She was really good, actually, when we practiced at home. She seemed to, like, pick up super quickly. So
Okay.
I was really happy with her.
I mean, it's the concept of it,
Yeah.
right? So like, I worked with like maybe 3 new clients this week.
Okay.
And no dog had no training before.
Yeah.
And we started with this because it was cold.
Yeah.
And they're like, took 5 minutes for the dog to pick it up.
Yeah.
And they're like, is it supposed to be this? And I'm like, yeah. When you know,
Yeah.
when you simplify it.
Yeah.
We did it with our big guy at home too. We did the
Bruce, right?
Yeah.
Bruce, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here.
Good memory. Yeah, we tried it with him and he understood it pretty quickly too.
Now, when you practiced at home, were you able to get any duration for like, you know, like having to be there for any period of time?
Yeah, we didn't do it for like a long stretch, but like we would like kind of like walk away and like look like we were minding our own business, and they seemed to stay there, so that was good. But yeah, we could practice or like
So-
watching TV or something, and they have to
Yes.
stay there. Okay.
So the duration stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to practice.
Okay.
And I think because of that, people kind of just always think, well, you know, it's so easy, I can just do it whenever,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Until they need it
And yeah,
and they've not practiced it.
that makes
And they're
sense.
trying to like rush into it, and then they're frustrated because the dog's not doing well.
Yeah.
And then I get an email.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, the first thing I was asked is, have you practiced?
Right.
They're like, no. I'm like, well, just like with
Yeah.
anything, if we don't practice it, we don't get anywhere, right? And here we really push duration like to 110%.
Okay.
You know, our boarding trainings, when they come in or, you know, they're dropped off for a week or 2 weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
we start their day at 7 a.m. and until 10 p.m. they're pretty much either training, having some free time,
Yeah.
or doing duration work. So the first thing we typically cover is go to place, so that we can start pushing it right away.
Right.
And that allows us to just kind of spearhead the whole training process.
Yeah.
So, we teach them, we have a 30-minute session, we teach them the concept, like I taught you guys the concept.
Right.
We place them on the bed, we have a leash on the column, we clip them, you walk away, they try to follow us, you remote them, they go back on, and they're like, okay. Then we work with another boarding train. Maybe during that training session, this dog tries to get off. No big deal, tap, tap, tap. You can't go anywhere because you're leashed. They go back on again, they go back to training, right?
Yeah.
So eventually they're like, okay, once we're here, we can't move. And we got dogs being in and out for daycare.
Right.
We have the other boarding dogs training.
It's lots of distractions.
Yeah, we have puppies playing, we have
Yeah.
people coming in for training sessions.
Yeah.
So like, they're just flooded with like, okay, there's all this activity, but when I'm here, I can't do anything, right?
Right.
And we do it because, of course, it's so easy, and I mean, I've been doing this a really long time, so I know what people will and they kind of won't do, so it's not out there yet.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So I always like go way above and beyond, because I don't want to give it back to the owner, the dog back to the owner, like it's gonna be super easy,
Yeah.
okay? Especially for you guys, especially for Rue,
Yes.
okay? Because remember, what you allow them to do is essentially what they become,
Right.
okay? So she's practicing like her kangaroo
Yes.
ancestry,
Yes.
which is all bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
She becomes more like that.
Yep.
And people kind of excuse, and I was actually having a conversation with one of my employees, and she pointed out that, and this is just through her own deduction,
Yeah.
like from how we run things here with our puppies. She says, is it just me, or are puppies just crazy because people let puppies be crazy because they're puppies?
Oh,
I'm sure there's probably a better way to say that, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said yes.
Really?
I said because if I have a group of puppies and they're with a dog that disagrees with the puppy energy, they just correct them. And the puppy learns, or puppies learn, that when we're around this dog, we cannot run and yelp and jump and play and nip and bite. We have to just chill.
Yeah.
So-
Even at work right now, my coworker just got a puppy, and we've got shock dogs that are super well behaved, that are there every day, and they shut the puppy down all day long.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
but we excuse it.
Right.
Because we think puppy, we think
uh-huh.
puppy doesn't know right from wrong. Yep.
Yeah.
In the closet. Yeah, there's a break. There's a couple of boxes, and just pick your side. You can get a couple of them there.
You don't need to be friends. You're fine.
She doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So, you know, with our puppies, yes, we let them be puppies and run and play and burn off energy, but there's a lot of things that we disagree with.
Yeah.
And then, so, you know, she corrected a couple of them because they were getting overly intense with their play. And then they laid down and went to sleep.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, that's how it works. You know, they start doing this at 3 weeks.
Yep.
With their litter mates. So,
Okay.
with these guys, like with Rue especially, when I get clients that have this personality type, very friendly, very excited, right? And they tend to see that as happy, always happy. I'm like, no, your dog's just always excited. And they like it and they excuse it because it's so positive energy, right?
Yeah.
It looks positive.
Yeah.
But then they don't see, like, my other client had the 2 fighting dogs. It was the same thing. They thought this dog was super friendly and happy, and the other dog was actually kind of like Lucille,
Yeah.
nervous energy, and was like, this is too much. And then it started triggering dog fights.
Right.
So when I came in, they thought it was this dog, and I said, no, it's this dog.
Right.
Because
It's the
they're-
same. We thought it was her because she was disciplining her.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? It's just the way she was going at it, or if Rue decides to counter back and say, who are you to discipline me?
Right.
Then it becomes a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Right? So, the one I would actually really focus on is, of course, Rue. Because she's already got a baseline of obedience and discipline.
Yeah.
She gives you a good jumping point.
Yep.
It doesn't, you know, I don't want to say neglect, right?
Right.
But if I have one dog that's already ahead of the game,
Yeah.
I'll focus on the one so I get them about equal levels. And
Yeah.
then go, okay, cool, I can work with you like equally now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Makes sense.
So definitely it's easy, and you want to take advantage of that it's easy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to do it for 4 hours every day for duration, you know, but like if one day you're doing 30 minutes, you know, and another day 15, and then one day you're like, we're gonna watch the Titanic, let's do 3 hours,
Yeah.
you know, you're just
Yeah.
going about your life,
Yep.
okay? Other questions?
So they like to like go and sleep on their place sometimes because it is a dog bed. Is that
Correct.
okay? Oh,
So, I like in place like to my mom sending me to my room,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
So like if my mom was having a bunch of guests come over,
Mhm.
and I was a little kid, and she was like, I want you to just go to your room.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care what you do in your room. She's like, you're not in trouble, you play your video games, you read a book, do some homework, play with your toys,
Right.
but just be in your room, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as the guests left, okay, Jesse, you can come out now, right?
Mhm.
And then I could either stay in the room by choice, or I could come out, get something to eat, and go right back in the room again and rest, right?
Okay.
So same thing for the dogs. If they choose to go there, we just want to remember that they are not under command.
Gotcha.
Okay, so they can get up and leave. It won't cause any kind of confusion.
Okay.
Until you
Okay.
title it or until you put pressure behind it, it's
It's
a
just
very
a bed,
new
okay.
thing, correct.
Okay. Great. Good to know.
Other questions?
No, I think we're good.
So we aren't using any verbal commands with this at all?
We are. Okay,
Okay.
so we're gonna touch upon that real quick, and then I'm gonna start, because it's a nice out.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I wanna do some leash walking stuff.
Great.
Because that's gonna be the next thing, because I think last
Yeah.
time. I
Oh
think
yeah.
last
Our
time-
Martingale's good. Do you think we should get them a different flat collar? Or? Okay.
You're fine.
Okay.
Now, the only thing that you may have to do
Mhm.
is Martingale's are perfectly fine, because they can't sit out and give them a much more control
Right.
than the harnesses.
Mhm.
Is when you're walking more than one dog,
Mhm.
especially to one handler,
Yeah.
a prong collar will most likely give you the most control.
Okay.
We can see what we get with this.
Okay.
Okay, so like right now we have 3 dogs with the same family, 2 of them with one owner,
Mhm.
and they tried walking with just e-collar. It was a little bit difficult for my handler, so I was like, okay, let's bring the prong collar because
Right.
it gives you a bit more steering control.
Okay.
Okay, so let me have you, we'll go ahead and start with Rue. I'm gonna get a second place bed real quick,
Cool.
and we'll see what you've been doing, and then we're gonna work on putting a name to it.
Okay. You're so skinny. Why you look at her skinny always?
You need to fear a little bit more.
You should get something. You get what Rue doesn't get.
Well, she's been first.
You would chonk her, Rue.
Well, we cut off this week because we cut down on hers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She's getting chonky.
So like, if she went on there on her own.
Yeah, she did.
No, I
You tapped her on it.
Oh, you did?
I
Okay.
tapped her twice and then she went right on and then.
So go ahead and give it a tap here.
morning, started tapping her when your employee came back, she was getting a little
Yes.
shoot, so I was just like, all right, you're going there.
Now, technically, if she's on the bed, you don't need to tap,
Okay,
okay?
yeah. It's cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. However, recognize that I literally just left for like 5 seconds, right?
Mhm.
And they come back in, and the energy is just kind of, whoa.
Yeah,
So when I look at stuff like that, I go, is it appropriate or is it appropriate, right? Now, obviously, it's positive looking, right? So we
Yeah.
usually go like, oh, it's no big deal. But that energy is more than likely going to lead to like her just bursting off, right? So what you just told Rue via no words and just the pressure, 3 taps, is you literally just gone 5 seconds. It's
yeah,
okay.
calm down.
Yeah, right? Now, you know, if she hasn't seen you all day, I completely get it, right? But if her assumption always is to go to this degree of excitement, again, it becomes more who she is, but then she's putting herself in a state of mind that is more likely to trigger
Yes.
Lucille. You see that? So you always want to be super strict. I'm not saying that she can ever be excited,
Right.
right? But if my mom was like, hey Jesse, we're going to church, and I ran around screaming, she'd be like,
Yeah.
you know, what is that
Yeah.
energy? But if I was like, hey, we're going to the park, I'm like, yeah, the park, right? Like, it's like, okay, cool, like, you're a kid, you're excited. Like, it makes sense tied to what the association is, right?
Okay, yeah.
So same thing for Rue, because again, the easiest way to stop dog fights
Yeah.
is to prevent them in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, and if I know her energy triggers, then we need to keep it more in check. And then like when she's in the yard playing with the ball and the toy, have at it. Let's say these guys are out for a walk and it's just you and Rue and you want to like play and like do all that stuff, have at it. Or let's say once you get the level of control that you're needing and you tell these guys to lay down and not move for X period of time while you play with Rue. You know, when you have that level of control, that's what gives you the ability to actually be flexible.
Okay.
People tend to give no structure,
Yeah.
lots of affection, and no rules,
Yeah.
and then they're hoping that they get to control. It doesn't work that way. You have to have control first, and then you can start giving leniencies.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll start with Rue, and I'll actually go ahead and have you place Lucille as well.
Okay.
So go ahead and just, you're going to lure her off real quick, and then you'll tap her to bring her back on again.
Wow. Okay.
This is where I was
Yeah.
at the no.
There you go. And now, I know for us,
The no verbal thing was messing with me a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
I get it, but I mean, I kind of get it, but I was like, you know, I get it, but I don't, you know?
Sure. So, there's a video on the internet that I saw many years ago. I believe the breed is Kangal. It's a Russian breed. And the video shows one Kangal essentially dominating another one. And it corners the one in the corner, growling, snarling, right? And you just see him walking very slowly, just like growling. And you see the other Kangal just sitting there, like, really submissive, and doing the submissive lip, just sitting there, right? Dog walks away. Because pressure's gone, dog starts to move, turns around, starts growling again, goes back and sits in the corner, and then walks away, and the dog's sitting there for like minutes. Okay? So technically, that dog just said, you're gonna go in that corner and you're not gonna move until I give you permission to move. No words, body language, but pressure, you know? So if you're walking down the street or on the sidewalk and you see someone coming towards you and they're making direct eye contact with you and they're straight at you just like this, they're closing that gap, how do you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Yes. Do you know what that is?
That pressure.
It's pressure, confrontational pressure. Locking on, and you're like, apparently you want something to do with me and I don't know who the hell you are. What are your intentions, right? And you might stop, you might turn, you might look behind you, or you might go, what the fuck's your problem? Right? Because of confrontational pressure. Same thing here, the pressure is remote pressure, right? Then when you add the leash, there's leash pressure or directional pressure. Did I talk to you about my expressway example, where someone's right behind you?
No, I don't think so.
So if you're on the expressway, you know, in the far left lane, and someone comes right behind you, right? And then you're looking, like you can either speed up, you can switch lanes, do nothing, or you can hit the brakes. or you brake check them.
Yeah.
They're all responses to, again, spatial pressure, okay? So here, when you turn that pressure on, it's saying non-verbally, to turn this off, go here. So once they've associated, oh, this needs to go there, they don't need words, right? But as humans, because we're so used to place, right? Or like sit or down,
Yeah.
because we're thinking the dog knows it. The dog doesn't know it. The dog associates it. So associates it. So like yesterday, I had again a new client. We're working on a place, and everybody's like, "How come we're not saying anything?" I'm like, "Well, because the dog doesn't know what it is." And even if I was saying place right off the bat, the dog still doesn't know what it is, right? Because they don't know the word. They just learn to recognize the word and attach it to something. Okay, so we're gonna do that today. And you're not the first person. You're not gonna be the last person. It's super common. I usually come back and the second week and they're like, well, Jesse, I needed to say something, so I was just saying, let's go, or something like that. I'm like, it's fine. Like, you're not gonna kill the training, but if it helps them, it's like whatever. But most of the stuff I always do is always the later week, because then you end up turning to the word as opposed to the remote.
Okay.
Right? Place, and then kicking in with this, right? I want to kick in with that always first. Okay? Because that's a very common thing.
Yeah.
Is as soon as they introduce the word heel, if they're still learning, they'll keep repeating heel 100 times. Tap.
Tap.
Correct. Tap. Tap. A little bit of leash pressure. Tap.
Tap.
You're okay. Tap.
Tap.
Yeah. And you want to grab a little bit higher up. Tap.
Tap.
Yeah. And tap a little. There you go. Tap. Tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come back and they're saying heel a bunch of times as opposed to using the remote.
Okay.
So this kind of forces people, by taking away the words, to have to rely on the remote as opposed to the word.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, she gets a mistake, and then she started to panic and go into flight mode,
Yeah.
right? That then triggers root, okay? Now, you may not anticipate that that would ever start anything, but it can,
Okay.
okay? So what happens is when she starts to panic, she creates an energy.
Yeah.
And if like nobody was saying anything, and you just watch the dogs, you can hear the energy of them moving, and her hiding, and her getting up and wiggling. So the energy comes up to here, and then when you're tapping, you're not to here, okay? So what can happen is, and I've seen this where, when I'm working with a multi-dog household, is this dog starts to spaz out, for example, and then the excited dog just triggers because they're already in that state and they just see this kind of commotion and they go into disagreement mode. You don't do that, and the next thing you know is boom,
Yeah.
boom, right? So that's why I was like, if you see something happening and you as a human know this shouldn't excite Rue, right? She made a mistake, she hopped off or whatever, and she right away, what's going on, right?
Yeah.
It's none of your business.
Yeah.
Relax, okay? So then, what you're doing is you're making her disinterested,
Okay.
okay? This interest is healthy. So like, if I'm sitting with my dogs and I get up to go to the kitchen, almost everybody's dog follows them, right? Like pack instinct, I get it.
Yeah.
My guys will like perk up, like, what are you doing? Or just going to the kitchen, right?
She will. She always follows us everywhere. The other two will stay napping.
We'll stay, yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce follows me.
Bruce follows you. Yeah.
So the indifference, right?
Yeah.
So like for me, that's a healthy balance because like, okay, then you got one dog, but not all of them, right? Because that tells me they're expecting something. Or you go into the kitchen, are we gonna get a treat? No.
Yeah.
Right? I'll call you if I'm gonna give you a treat, you know? But again, people like to see dogs following them, it makes them feel good, they think that their dog's happy,
Right.
when really it's just like impulsiveness. And
Right.
impulsiveness leads to reactivity, leads to dog fights.
Okay.
Okay, that's how all this stuff works.
Well, they usually do get a treat when they go to the kitchen because they love ice cubes.
Sure.
So they know that we're gonna give them an ice cube.
Whenever they hear the ice machine, they all
come.
flood to the kitchen.
Yeah.
They love to chew on ice cubes.
Sure. You know, and I don't have anything against it.
Okay.
I just have something against the assumption
Yeah.
and the energy it creates
Sure.
when they see you move, you know? Because dogs will fight over the stupidest things in our minds.
Yeah.
right? So like, when 3 dogs get to the same treat at once,
Right,
that's usually a big trigger,
yeah.
right? No, I got here first, no, me first.
Mhm.
One of us is gonna get it, and then, they're willing to fight for it. Whereas you're like, I have more treats, Again, yep.
Yeah.
They're not aware of that,
Yeah.
okay? Now here with Rue,
Mhm.
because she perked up when you started petting her,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay? But then you left her hanging.
Mhm.
Did you see that? Right? And then what happened?
The energy.
She kept going.
Yeah.
She doesn't self-regulate.
Mhm.
Okay, so the reason why I let that slide, because I'm this is like ingrained in me. Like I see this stuff, and I'm already in my head tap, right? Settle that energy down,
Mhm.
because it snowballs,
Yeah.
and she just keeps becoming more and more like exuberant, right? And this is stuff because you yourself are conditioned a certain way that because it's technically not anything bad. Because we tend to categorize bad as aggression or aggressive type behaviors. As long as dogs aren't doing that, they're not bad.
Mhm.
When I get my dogs that break out of kennels and bend kennel bars and bark and scream and salivate and crap and piss the kennel,
Mhm.
oh, they're not a bad dog, they're not aggressive, they're just really anxious.
Mhm.
I'm like, to me that's bad.
Yeah.
I don't like the energy because then it leads to all this other stuff, right? But people just look at aggression as bad because it could hurt someone or something, right? For me, it's not about good or bad. It's about whether I allow it or not, whether I want it or not, okay? So I want you to now be more aware of Rue's energy and just thinking, is this appropriate right now, right? If you're just sitting down watching TV, Lucille's resting state, Bruce is in a resting state, and Rue's in a Rue state,
Yeah.
and you guys are in resting states. Do you see the imbalance,
Yeah.
right? Put her in a resting state,
Okay.
okay? Because that's what triggers. Because these guys are sleeping, she decides,
Mhm.
nudge, nudge, nibble,
Mhm.
jump, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, we're in resting mode,
Mhm.
correction.
Yeah.
And then she goes, don't correct me, and again,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So, in the beginning, it's a lot of work because you're changing a certain way that you're used to being.
Right.
Okay? For me, it was a ton of work in the beginning, but it's so ingrained in me now that it's not.
Yeah.
It's just, I hear it, I already see her tail wagging. All I did was go and get a chair.
Mhm.
Did you guys
Yeah.
notice that?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, is that enough for us to tap? No.
Right.
Right? But had she stood up, turned around,
Yeah.
and done that, boom, tap. Right?
Yeah.
No need to be that excited.
Yeah.
Okay?
I just move my legs.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, right? Like, you can see it. And it's cute and it's funny, right?
Right.
Until it's
Yeah,
not.
you're
Until
right.
it's not, yeah.
Yeah. So, let me go ahead, we're gonna keep Lucille in place.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have you go ahead and work with Rue here. And show me what you've been practicing, okay? We're just gonna breeze through this so that we can work on the leash walking stuff.
Okay.
And so we,
It's okay for the dog.
yeah. Okay. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
And you're gonna pull.
okay.
Yep, keep walking, there you go, good.
Tap. Tap. Tap.
Good, what's the number?
28 right now. I turned it up a little, it was at 27 when we walked in, I turned it up to 28.
We definitely needed it at a higher level when we were at home.
Sure,
Yeah.
because she's so used to being loose and free.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just turned it up because she wasn't really responding right to the first
Sure.
tap, so I turned it up one level and she went right on the bed, the
Okay.
second tap.
So we'll do 2 more, we'll do a release to the bed, and a release to the bed, and then we'll go on to the next thing.
Okay. Okay.
Pull.
Okay, bro.
There we go, good.
Tap. 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 Okay.
Good.
Okay.
So on this last one, I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you go probably about 1, 2, 3 on the 4th square back here, away from the bed, and then without moving forward, tap and use the leash to direct Rue over there to the bed.
Tap. Tap. Tap.
Good. So at home when you've practiced with her, is this what it looks like, or is it a bit more direct?
This is about what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we want to push this a little more, because we're still doing quite a bit of work in order to center, okay? So I'll take care, and also the first video's up on YouTube.
Oh, great.
You guys want a reference point?
Yeah.
Yeah, just go back to that. Great.
It's on your Canine Perspective.
Perspective.
I subscribe to it.
If you look at, I think I put Rue and Lucille, so if
Great.
you search Rue, it should just pop up.
Perfect.
So in here, what we want to do is, if I keep walking with Rue to the place for the most part, right, it becomes a part of the command, like the cue. So like if this is sit, right, and this is down, if you keep doing this, this always becomes a part of the command. Or if I always walk with the dog like this, it becomes a part of the command, right? So what I want to do is I want Rue to start recognizing this as the sole, how would you say, kind of like sole communicator of go here. So we're at 30, tap, 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 tap. There, okay. I'm going to bump it a little bit, we're going to go to 35. Right, okay. If we see a little bit of resistance, there we go. I'll use my foot to brace the bed. So I should just drag it with her, okay? So again, we're away from the bed, tap, tap, tap. Good. See, that was a little bit more direct. She was sniffing, she felt the tap, and then kind of, without much leash tension, walked there, okay? We're gonna
And lay
tweak-
down right away too.
Yeah, we're gonna tweak it a little bit more, we're going to 40. Okay? And if you start to see, like, let's say you come here, right? And she starts to prematurely keep going, don't allow her to.
Okay.
Okay, I'll stop, keep her here first, wait, and then start tapping, because you want to make it very clear that this is what's getting her to go to the bed itself, okay? Tap, tap, like that, okay? So now, in response to this, she's giving much more. Boom, sure, I'll get there.
Yeah.
Here I am, right? So the reason for bumping it higher is to create more motivation to get here, right? So you gave it to me at 28, a couple of taps was quite a few, and she was kind of like, sure, I'll go there, here, right?
Yeah.
I go to 35, a little bit more, but I know what I'm looking for, because I've done this for so long.
Right.
I'm teaching you to recognize what we're looking for,
Okay.
okay? The reason for this, one, is when you noted she went there quicker and she laid down right away,
Right.
right? Right off the bat, she goes, oh, I need to get there, and just go into resting state, because the number made it more serious,
Okay.
okay? Without needing to make her yell or any of that stuff, right? I release her, I go, I want a little bit more, I go to 40, tap, and right away she goes there, turns around, lays down, and not only that, she's laying in my direction,
Oh, yeah.
right? So I was working with another dog, little poodle-y looking dude,
Yeah.
and was super attached to the mom, and after a couple of reps, he stopped staring at her, started looking at me. Because he was like, oh, you're somehow associated to this, so I must be looking to you for direction, because she's not helping me, right? So same thing here. You want to notice these little things, be able to recognize them,
Yeah.
because it communicates a lot, right? Obviously, if someone's walking their dog, and they keep telling them sit, and the dog's like, with their dog with their back to the owner.
Yeah.
Owner, sit, sit, sit. I'm like, the dog's not even looking at you, right? And it's not that we need the looking, but clearly the dog is completely unaware that you really mean anything, right? As you start to apply more discipline, you're going to start to notice them looking at you more for direction, as opposed to looking to themselves or each other, right? So once they start looking to you, then you start to create a delay. Because if I were off leash at a park and my dog sees a squirrel, right? Can I go chase a squirrel? Not today.
Yeah.
All right, we'll just keep walking then. Or break, chase a squirrel.
Yeah.
I don't care. Come on, I call you. Okay, Dad. Boom, right? That's the whole meaning behind it.
Okay. great.
Okay.
Yeah, she loves the happy noises. That'll get her going anywhere.
There we go. Right. So see how she kept going a little bit. So a little bit of pressure back, just to hold her still, and then want to relax because I don't want to be like this.
Right.
Because then you're restraining her, right? Yep. Yep. Good. Does that part make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to attach a word to it now. Okay? In place?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I know. It's got to be so annoying to be a dog, right? Because you have to do these things so many times. Good. Root. Place. Tap. 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 Good. I actually had a dog owner many years ago when I first started this. The dog was becoming resistant and not wanting to do anything. And they're like, my dog's stubborn, right? This and that. And I was really just getting on the dog. And I'm like, hold up. And I had the owner go to the couch. And I said, sit down. He sat down. I said, stand up. Stand up. I said, sit down. And by the time I got to the next one, they got so pissed. Okay, that was the first and last time I ever did that with anybody. Because it was very clear. They were like, and I was like, now you know how your dog feels.
Yeah.
Okay? Just because they're a dog doesn't mean that they're just gonna go with stuff.
Yeah.
It's like with humans, right? They feel certain ways, they have boundaries as well, right?
Yeah.
They have things they don't like and that they like. So just because they're a dog doesn't mean you can just come in and just like do this, right? Because one is completely unnatural to them.
Yeah.
The other thing is we're putting pressure, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't make it bad, but I understand, right? If a dog goes, I don't want to do this because I don't like the way this feels, I go, I understand. You know, but you have to do it because in order for us to have a symbiotic, healthy relationship where you're not starting fights and you're not being reactive and you're not tearing up the house when I leave, it's a part of that, right? In order to create that. But I don't just come in blazing and just like forcing the dog to do stuff, right? If they become resistant, I increase my power until they become compliant. So as they become compliant, we dip back down again, right? So the dog starts to learn like, oh, cool, like, yeah, I don't like this, but you're approaching this in a very kind of understanding way.
Yeah.
And you still make me do it, but I'm not being slammed into doing it. Like when you mentioned the other place that they would just kind of,
Oh, yeah.
yep,
Beach for dogs.
yes. So,
Go read the reviews sometime. It's quite interesting.
so clearly, like that doesn't work, right? Okay, fine. I know. Good. And if she becomes too resistant with the release, you can put pressure behind it. I try not to, but like for the sake of the exercise, right? Again, I understand.
Yeah.
Because she's like, Jesse, this is stupid. If you want, I'll just stay here for the rest of the class.
Right.
Like, yeah, but for the sake of the class, and I need to teach parents, I need you to actually get off.
Yep.
Place, tap, tap, good. Now, her not wanting to move is a good thing in the sense that it's making tap. It's telling me that this actually means something to her.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Good. And then one more. Good. And we wait. Good. Place. Tap. Tap. Good. So what we're doing here is we're creating a sequence. When I say place and this kicks in, from what you learned this past week, it means to go here.
Yeah.
Right? So again, she won't define place, she will associate place.
Okay.
When I hear that and I see this object, it means to go to this object and chill.
Okay.
She can sit, stand, lay down, I don't care,
Yeah.
but just get all of your body on here.
So when we say place, do we give her a chance to go there, or is it always tapped
Always
with
kicking.
place? Okay.
So what you're trying to associate here is that when you say place, this always happens.
Okay.
Okay, the reason for this is, if her assumption or her experience with commands is command stem, she's not gonna want to delay.
Okay.
Because she's thinking, I better get there, because this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And the faster I get there, I can either avoid this entirely, or I only get a couple of taps, okay? When you give the dog opportunity to avoid the remote, you create delay. delay then leads to disobedience, or they'll completely blow off a command. So like, let's say, for example, the recall. We're at the park. Rue sees a squirrel. The squirrel is at a tree just next to a street, right? She takes off. Rue come. Delay. And then you kick in. That delay could lead to her already being in the street. I want Rue come, stop, turn on the dime, and come to me. Right? Because then I don't have to worry about.
I saw that, we watched a video on it, the Miami dog whisperer.
Yeah, Regina.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I watched the video on it, it was very impressive on the dogs just.
The recalls?
Yes,
Yeah, when they're playing and you
yeah.
just shoot back.
Uh-huh.
You know, he's my mentor, right?
I did not know that, that's really cool, I really like him, okay.
I studied with him for 3 months.
Oh, that's amazing.
If you watch some of his videos, you'll see me in there.
Oh, that's awesome,
Right, yeah.
okay. Yeah, I bought the comeback course, but we never did it, so I have it, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I do part-time captain work at Burnham Harbor here.
Okay.
I'm one of the other captains on a boat. I just, I was just showing up for my chart or whatever, and he's like, I saw you getting attacked by a German Shepherd on YouTube the other day, and I was like, I was just throwing, I was like, oh, yeah, I was like, with Richard, and he's like, the white guy with the crazy white guy with the white hair. I'm like, yeah. I was like, that's my mentor. He's like, yeah, that was the guy. I was like, that's me.
That's crazy.
I was a lot skinnier
That's
back
really
then.
cool.
So yeah, no, he's got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course my theories are based off of his theories, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I'm highly influenced by Caesar Milan and Richard Hines.
Okay.
So I took both of them, and then from there kind of started building my own approach, as opposed to being a version of Richard.
Right.
I use a lot of what he says,
Yeah.
but I've also created, in my opinion, in my thinking,
good
new
hybrid,
kind of
yeah.
approaches. Because he has his own style, and of course I have my own.
Yeah.
So, questions so far about this stuff?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll have you do just a few here, and then I really want to start the healing exercise with you
Great.
guys, okay?
Okay.
And you see when you approach the bed, her tail, right? It's fine, right?
Okay.
But just becoming sensitive to that stuff.
Yes.
Good boy, Dad's here. Good boy.
Hopefully.
Good. Yep. And go ahead and grab your remote. And I grab your leash a little bit higher up so that you have more direction. So I probably grab like about here. There you go. That looks like a Cabela's leash.
It's a Etsy shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It looked very like, hunter dog.
Right.
That's good. Yeah. And place? Place. And tap, you're good.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm going to just do a quick little walk around. You'll release her. Okay. Tap, pull.
Yeah.
Tap, pull. There you go. Good.
Your sister. How do you do it?
Place.
Place.
Yep. Yep. There you go. Good. I'm going to do one more. Okay. Yeah, we're not leaving. There you go. And I'm going to explain what's going on right there in a second.
Okay.
Yep.
Place.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see right when you said place, though, she started moving. The associating is starting to happen.
Great.
Okay? So dogs are learning very quickly. But I'm teaching you to teach her. So their process is a little bit slower because of that. When you're walking this way, because she knows that's the exit, right? What response is that?
She wants to lead?
So that would be
Defiance?
defiance,
I don't know.
flight,
Oh.
right? So we have 4 responses: fight, flight, avoidance, submission. So there she goes, I'm tired of this game, I want to get out of here, right? So the reason why I had you tap is sometimes once the dog understands the exercise and they're like, oh yeah, just go here, it's cool, it goes away. In other cases, the dog will keep repeating it because they're like, I don't want to do this, I'm going to just keep trying to get away from it when I can. So when I had you tap, what you essentially did was told her that's not an option, okay? So it sounds bad to say like this dog can't run away from something it's uncomfortable with, right? But if you never address it, so if it doesn't go away on its own, we have to address it, right? Because the absence of no is yes.
Yeah.
So here, even if I keep ignoring it, it would always be a constant dragging her away from the door. So then I go, okay, you've done this a bunch of times, it's not gonna get better, so I'm gonna just teach you that no, you can't run away from this, and your best bet is always to just be compliant, okay? When I work with my aggressive, fear aggressive dogs that are completely antisocial, part of that aggressive response is the fact they want to run away from the threat, but they can't. So when I go, okay, but you can't even try to run away because this goes off, it makes them think differently because they're like, okay, I can't even run away. So what do I do now? And once we work through the phases, it's you just accept and you don't become aggressive.
Okay.
So here, in order for her to accept the discipline and accept that you may tell her from time to time, go here and don't move, we now have to start removing things. So in the home, if you're practicing and she's like this, trying to pull away, you would now start tapping. Don't say anything. The tapping says you can't run away, okay? And eventually she comes back and you wait a moment. Now that you're done running away or trying to run away, I want you to go to your place. Boom, right? So now it allows the brain to take in the information, okay? Let me have you do a couple of runs real quick. So we can leave Lucille right there.
I'm working with Rue, or?
Yeah, we're gonna work with Rue.
Okay.
Because Lucille already has a baseline for the place, right?
Yeah,
Correct,
it
so.
does. Yeah. Rue, place.
Yeah.
Tap, tap, tap.
There you go.
Okay.
There she goes.
And tap,
And
tap,
turn.
tap,
And turn.
tap.
There you go.
Tap.
And relax. Okay, good, relax. Good, and relax right there. Hold. So now, this is okay. Right? Like this. Okay. So here, when you started tapping Rue, what I forgot to mention, so you're telling her she can't run away, right? But then you have to redirect.
Okay.
Okay? So then she comes over here, and you want to see that she's doing it.
She's thinking.
So the way that works is, if you're pulling Rue back, right? If my arm is the leash,
Yeah.
and you're tapping, and you pull her back over here, and you're like holding her like this, you're physically making her be there, right? So what I want is tap, tap. Where are you? Oh, there you are. And she kind of mentally just places herself here.
Okay.
That's how you can see the difference between wanting to run away and, okay, I know I can't run away, so I'm gonna just be here with you, okay? Is let that slack go, okay?
Okay.
This is always about mental control, not physical.
Okay.
Because of leashes and, because of trying to work with several dogs and just like previous experiences, we tend to always want to restrain things,
Right.
right? With this tool, it allows us to condition so that the dog understands, like, here, give a tap.
Tap.
See that?
Yeah.
See how she just turned away?
Yep.
That tap told her, you're not gonna go lay down with Lucille.
Yeah.
Without any words,
Yep.
she was able to decipher that mom disagrees with me looking over here, so I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna rest,
Yep.
okay?
Okay.
So, now go ahead and issue the word place.
Place. Tap.
Yep, yep.
Tap. Tap.
Good.
Is that good, or do we give her an okay?
No, that's fine. And okay?
Okay. So you want that would tap.
Mm-hmm. And relax. Good. Tap.
Tap,
And hold your leash. Tap.
tap.
Right. Relax. Good. See what she did there?
She was anticipating, yeah.
Correct, right? So, and this doesn't create confusion.
Mm-hmm.
She's assuming, but you're
Okay.
clarifying. You're saying, I didn't send you the place.
Right,
You're just jumping the gun there,
yeah.
right? So then here, there was a bit of tension because had you let it go, her assumption would have been to keep going to place, right? So then that's where a little bit of tension is okay because you're directing her not that way, this way. A couple of taps. She goes, oh, not this way. And she turns around. Okay, mom, what's the next thing, right?
Right.
So it's super subtle, but once you understand like how like this really works,
Yeah.
it's very easy to communicate with your dog just through the remote itself
Yeah.
without words. Okay, place.
Place. Yeah.
Good. And right there, when you said place, what happened?
She kind of.
She started turning. Yeah. So the associating is getting a bit better. We're gonna do one more.
Okay. Okay.
And hold. Wait. Yep.
Tap.
Yep. Good. And relax. Good. Okay.
Tap.
Mm-hmm. Yep, tap.
Tap.
Yep, there you go. Go ahead and take one step in, right there, good, and then relax. Good, okay. So a little bit of confusion, right?
Yeah.
It's normal. Because she has to decipher what you're wanting, because we've been doing a lot of plays. Then we
Right.
did, you can't run to the door.
Yeah.
Then we said, you can't go to Lucille's bed. And
Yeah.
then we said, stop prematurely going to the bed, right?
Right.
So it's confusing in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's part of the process. She will learn to understand it a bit more, kind of situation wise. Okay.
Kind of like over a little bit of a language barrier.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when you're ready, place.
Place. Tap. Tap.
Mm-hmm. Good. So like, let's say, go to direct release, and you can step away. Let's say Rue was doing really good with going to place, right? We start to see her turning and going, and she's like being real direct.
Yeah.
And then you correct a few things, and on that last one, it was delayed. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Why?
Not sure.
She's getting tired of it.
Mm-mm. It was a good guess though,
Yeah.
because we just confused her.
Okay.
Remember, she went there prematurely.
Right.
So then we said, no, don't go there.
Yeah.
So
Now
she
we're
goes,
saying
okay,
go
now we're saying go there.
Yeah.
So then she's like,
Well, you not for me.
right?
Yeah.
You know? It's normal.
Yeah.
Okay? But people, when they see that, they usually think disobedience, they think defiance, they think stubborn. I don't know. Like, we just went contrary to what we were just teaching of go here, and then we said, don't go there. Because to us, we're knowing, don't go there until I tell you to go there.
Right.
She doesn't understand that part. Okay? So now that we're kind of clarifying things,
Yeah.
we start to see the opposite. So when I work on heel means walk and stay with me. And then once we introduce this, so if I say heel, the dog should just boom, start walking, right? But when we introduce the stay concept, stay is opposite the heel. It's you don't move and I move.
Yep.
So then once we start to put the two together, the owner will start walking and then the dog relates. Because it's like, do I move or do I don't move? Right?
Yeah.
So with obedience, as we teach more things, we create more problems.
Yeah.
Okay? It's normal, it's part of the process, and that's why we go through what I call like clarifying stages. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. That
Make
makes a lot of
sense?
sense. Yep.
So your homework with this is going to be now when you're doing your little 3 to 5 minute practice sessions. Be a bit, sure, there. Be a distance away,
Yeah.
place, send, right? And of course, changing the directions that you're sending so she doesn't get too dialed into one approach. Okay? And duration work. Okay? It doesn't have to be 4 or 5 hours. Do what you can. If you miss a day or two, it's okay. But at least 4 to 5 days a week, try to do some degree of duration. You don't have to do all the dogs. She's the main one to focus on.
Yeah.
Or if anything, alternate.
Yeah.
Right? So you're trying to keep things as balanced as possible. And then, so let's say if you do 5 days every week of duration. 2 for her, and then 1 for the both.
Okay.
Like you can balance it out that way.
All right.
In the beginning, I was just focused on the one that I know needs to catch up, and once we're on the same page, I just started doing them, working with them the same.
Okay.
Okay, questions about that?
No, we just
I
need-
think I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just need to do it. Yeah.
We need to do it, and we need to get another dog that.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've been working with the one, so we've been doing one at a
Oh,
time, so.
and if you want, you can.
Okay.
You can also, so it can be a towel. It can be a blanket, it can be a pillow. I've had people use ottomans, I've had people use area rugs.
Okay.
You know, it's just a really big place.
Yeah,
You know, it just has to be something that's defined.
that makes sense.
So in the beginning, if you want to just do that, you can. Otherwise, if you want to get another dog bed, obviously, you're more than welcome to, but
Right.
not necessary. Okay?
Gotcha, alright.
We would need to
let's-
get another one.
Yeah.
They ripped up their,
She destroys things.
and
Yeah.
she's bored.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're gonna do, let me go check my floor here to see if it's clear.
Okay.
We're gonna work on the healing stuff.
Oh, great.
Okay.
That's your biggest problem. Yes, ma'am. What? That's really impressive.
She turned her up so high. The other collar's tight enough. Did I tighten them enough?
Yeah, I think they're tight enough.
I didn't know if they tightened. You're usually the one putting
Yeah.
them on.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna grab your coats. We'll go back here.
No,